Yo, yo, yo! What's happening, my peeps? Welcome to the November edition of the Sky Eye Network webcast. Coming to you live from Boise, Idaho. It is Sky Eye. That's when you guys have to make all your your clapping sound like all over the place, so that way you're feeling the energy in your room. Welcome, everybody. We got all you guys here online. I see you from Rick to Zonkerman to Gary Allen and all the way down. I can't even read everybody's names because you guys are just popping up left and right, which is awesome. And we are so excited to have you guys. As always, we have so much stuff to cover, so we're going to get right into it because we want to respect your time. And we know folks got a lot of stuff to do today, including voting. So get out there and vote. Unless you're going to vote for liberals, then please don't vote. Stay home. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm really not kidding. But anyhow, we got a lot of great stuff that we need to cover today. The typical, usual lineup of great stuff and some really great industry news. There's a lot of great industry. I mean, there's this industry, guys. I mean, we could practically have a webcast every single week and have enough stuff to talk about every single week with the speed at which stuff is coming out. So what we want to do is get right into it right away. But before I turn it over to Damon, who is coming to us via satellite, actually it's via internet connections. It's probably more like fiber optic cables in the ground more than the satellite. But nevertheless, he's coming to us out of Houston, Texas, and we'll say hi to Damon here in just a minute. Actually, just bring up Damon so everybody can see it. Say hi. Hey, brother, what's going on, man? So here he is live, and we're going to be talking to him in just a minute. But first, I have 3 things I want to cover with you guys really quick before we turn it over to my main man from Pakistan, also known as Houston, Texas. And what I want to talk to you guys about is something that we've discussed in Drone Command Live several times. We discuss it. We discussed it at great length at BizCon. So for those of you guys who are at BizCon, I see a lot of names right there. It was great seeing you guys and having the whole team together. We don't have the sizzle reel from BizCon ready to show you guys yet, but we're putting that together and we will show it to you next month. But one of the things we talked about was the whole concept and principle of taking a business model from one industry or marketplace and moving it over into another industry or marketplace. And that is what I want to share with you guys here today, because we have 3 very, very powerful business plans, or excuse me, business models that you can move over from other marketplaces and get right into using here immediately in your business. And I want to share these 3 of them with you very quickly, because if you're the kind of person who's a go-getter, you're not going to need any more instruction than what I'm going to tell you right now, and it's going to be sufficient for you to make more money. So before we bring on Damon to cover all the typical stuff that he covers on a webcast and some more exciting news that we have coming out, including the Mavic, the new Mavics that are out, the new Phantom 4 RT. I mean, my goodness, there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming out right now from DJI and even from some other folks. But before Damon gets into all that awesome stuff, I want to share with you guys 2.5 more ways to make more money right now with the existing equipment and tools that you have. Are you guys ready? Okay, so number 1, now before I get started, I am talking right now about using the business model from real estate. Now, you guys already know that I'm not a big fan of the real estate marketplace for you guys to be building your businesses for all the reasons that I've mentioned in the past. However, you guys also know that I encourage you to do it anyway, because it is a marketplace that allows you to build the infrastructure for your business. Primarily, it allows you to build the infrastructure where you have pilots and where you have photo editors and where you have the equipment for both aerial photography and ground photography. Now, we've already talked in the past about using that same equipment to do work for auto dealerships, to do work for hotels, bed and breakfast, Airbnb, VRBO.com, all of those different companies and industries and marketplaces. However, I want to talk about 2 more marketplaces that you could get into very quickly using that same business model and just moving it over laterally, okay? So the very first one is a simple and an easy and an obvious one. And this one is simply updating people's Google Places or Google Maps listing on Google. So in fact, I don't have this on my laptop screen, but let me just bring this up here very quickly, and we'll go here to Google together. So bring up my laptop screen, and you are going to become a certified Google photographer. Okay, so if you come here to Google and you type in certified Google photographer, you're going to see right here this link, what it takes to be a trusted Street View Google photographer. And there's some people selling you different things on how to do it. Go ahead and come back to my laptop screen. But you see right here on Google Maps, you can come here and you can get certified very, very quickly to get this Trusted View badge, okay, for Google. Now, once you get this certification from Google, then this allows you to market yourself as a certified Google Maps person. Now, you don't actually need that certification, but just go ahead and get it. It only takes you can get it in a day, and you're just taking some online tests. The only equipment you're going to need in addition to the equipment you already have is a 360-degree camera. Now, you can buy those 360-degree cameras on Amazon for 99 bucks for a cheap Chinese one, or you can get, like the GoPro Fusions, like 700 bucks or something like that. But whatever you get, it doesn't matter. Here's the point. What you're doing is you're going inside a business, taking 360-degree photos, and we have a lot of people who have these 360-degree cameras already because you're attaching them to your Mavics and your Phantoms, and you guys are doing some cool stuff in terms of photography with that. However, there's a little cottage industry out there, and there's a lot of small marketing companies, like the guys who do websites and search engine optimization and stuff like that, and they're getting anywhere from $300 to $800 a pop to professionally update people's Google Maps page. Now, the going price is $499. So if you look around, the most common price people are getting is 500 bucks, and this usually just consists of 10 to 12 photos, indoor and outdoor. I would encourage you to make half of those aerial photos, the other ground photos indoor. So this is just like the real estate model, but instead of taking 20 or 30 pictures, you're taking 10 to 12, and that becomes people's Google Places listing. Now, then what also happens is part of that listing is the 360-degree internal, like, what do they call it, VR panorama of the inside of their business. Now, here's the cool thing. The reason why I think this is cool is because it's 500 bucks. It's just easy, free money. It is a very easy upsell into an aerial imagery package, and then after the aerial imagery package, it's an easy upsell into a video promo, to a promotional video. So, super easy to do. It's a great place to get started. It's easy to market yourself that way to any local business, and boom, you get your foot in the door. You can charge as little as $300 up to $800 in some of the larger metropolitan areas, but the going rate that I saw as we did some market research is about 500 bucks. So go out there and do it, ladies and gentlemen. It's an easy in, super easy, anybody can do. Want to encourage you to do that, number one. Okay, number two. Now this one is brand new, right, hot off the press. we're going to give props where props are due. This information came to us from none other than Adam Novak, our great, awesome, studly dude down there in Florida when we were there with him here this weekend in Tampa. He came to me with this idea that either he had seen or he'd heard about or what have you, and I was blown away at what a freaking awesome idea this is, and I was completely stunned by two things. Number one, what a unbelievable cash cow this could be, how anybody could make a business out of this, and how easy it is to accomplish if you just go out there and do it immediately. Remember, whoever takes massive action, what I share with you right now, is going to make massive bucks. Whoever doesn't is going to kick yourself and wish that you had. It's the coolest idea. Oh, and I'll tell you the third thing here is that it never ceases to amaze me the different ways that people can dream up ways to make money in this industry. In fact, you know what? You know what I need here? I'm going to need a drone. Booch, go here in my office and you'll see on my counter there is the Mavic bag. Just get the little one, the black one, not the Mavic 2. So here's the deal. In short, what you are offering is spreading people's ashes when they pass away over the water. Now, just bring me the whole case. For those of you who live anywhere near water, this is for you. So if you live near the coast, the two coastlines, or if you live anywhere near a large lake, like I'm landlocked here in Idaho, right? But we have actually more rivers than anywhere else in the country, and we have a lot of lakes here. And so it's a thing that when people pass away, that a lot of people like to get cremated and they want their ashes sprinkled over a lake or the ocean, somewhere where they someplace that they loved when they were alive. Now, if you know anything about the funeral business is like a crazy expensive business, right? I mean, it costs like $10,000 to bury somebody. So cremation is a much, much, much more affordable option. And then, of course, when somebody's cremated, they take their ashes. They usually stick them in an urn. The urn is basically just kind of like a vase type of looking thing. And you've seen it. People have their ashes of their loved ones on their mantle of their fireplace or something like that. But a very common thing to do is for people to take this urn full of their loved ones' ashes, they go out on a boat and they sprinkle it over the water. And, you know, people will take pictures or their family members will be there and they'll cry and then they'll have a little ceremony or what have you. But it's a common thing. Well, it is a very common thing on the two coastlines to people to rent a boat and go out in the boat. They go out in the middle of the ocean there and they don't go very far. And they just, you know, sprinkle the water over the ashes in the Pacific or Atlantic Ocean, and it's kind of an emotional thing. Well, the business model that is being suggested for you to use here is so awesome and so powerful, and it works like this. You need 2 drones, okay? 2 drones, 1, 2. And one of them does have to be a little bit more heavy duty, so you're not gonna pull this off with a Mavic. Probably not with the Phantom 4 either, because there's a payload on that urn, and it's 10 to 15 pounds. Those ashes are relatively heavy. So you're gonna need something like an M600 or something like that. And so he says, well, it's gonna cost me a couple $1,000s. Yeah, I know, you'll make it back in 2 days, so don't worry about it. So you're gonna need 2 drones. The first drone is going to carry the ashes, and you're gonna have to rig up a little servo or something like that so it could dump the ashes over the water. And you're just gonna, you can go to a pier, you don't have to go on a boat, go to a pier, what have you, fly out 1,000, 2,000 feet, whatever you have to fly out to, and you're just gonna have it hover. While it's hovering, you're gonna send out the second one, okay? And your second drone is going to go film the releasing of these ashes over the water. Now here's the part that makes it awesome. When you have that urn full of ashes, which is the ashes of the loved one, you're going to fill that urn with glitter. So that urn is full of glitter and human ashes. And you're going to film it with your other one. So imagine the urn is just right here, and this other Mavic is filming it. I would encourage you to go around as a point of interest. So it's circling around the whole time. The whole thing is circling around, circling around. Then you hit the button, it drops all the ashes. As the ashes start sprinkling, you can't really see the ashes too well because it's dust. But what you will see is the sprinkling of the glitter. So you're capturing this video, and if you capture it in good sunlight with the Mavic going in a circle around like this, you see their ashes coming down, sprinkling in the sunlight with glitter and sparkling and sparkling. And then it hits the water, and it hits the water. You've moved your camera angle down, and you see the sparkling of their ashes in the water. It could be a very, very touching and emotional moment. And what you do is you create that video. It's the service and the video, and you put the video in a very beautiful package together for them. You could put it for them on a Blu-ray. You could put it on a DVD. You could put it on a jump drive. You can just put it in any format you want to give it to them. The more beautiful you package it, the nicer you package it. Obviously, the higher the value perception, the more you can charge. But something like this, on the very low end, you're looking at $1,000, and the high end, $2,500 to $3,000, you can charge for this experience of actually doing an aerial drop of someone's ashes over the waters. It is unbelievable. Now, that's the service. You guys can figure out the additional details you want to add to specialize it for you and your company. However, let me tell you how freaking unbelievably easy it is to earn this business and to get this business. All you have to do is, yeah, people are saying this, awesome. Yeah, do it at dusk, absolutely. Robert here says, we talked about this. Someone suggested adding sparkles to the ashes. I may do this for my deceased father. It would just be awesome. Worldwide 320, I don't know who you are, but he says Mountains 2, he's in Colorado. Pfft, great point, man. Sprinkle it over the forest, sprinkle it over wherever. But here's the point. It is an unbelievable service. Everybody will love this. Everybody, there's no customer who's not going to be so thankful and grateful. The organic referrals you're going to get are off the charts. This is a recession-proof industry. People die every day, unfortunately. I hate to be morbid, but you guys, this is an industry. The funeral industry is huge. And people, by the way, if you know anybody who owns a funeral home, they're loaded because it's pure service-based business and people pay big bucks for it. And so cremation, of course, is a more affordable option. And this is a beautiful way for someone who's been cremated to have a service for them to be remembered by. I mean, the family members, imagine sending this to all family members around the world who couldn't be there. And now you can share a video for it. Some of you guys can even hire someone to make a landing page, a website with the domain name, and the video is right there. And along with that video, I would sprinkle in images, images from the family, from all their best experiences in life, and there's these images of their family and people hugging one another, and then it pans right back to the ashes going down as you're spiraling around, and then it goes back to the husband and wife hugging one another, and then it goes back to the ashes. I mean, it could be a real tearjerker. I mean, it could be incredible. But here's how easy it is. Determine how much money you want to profit, put in your pocket on every single job, okay? Let's just say, for sake of argument, you want $1,500, okay? Simple. If you want $1,500, then you're going to add $200 to $300 or as high as $500. Let's just say, for sake of argument, $500. The price you're going to sell it for is then $2,000. Don't think about it as paying $500 commission. Just think about it as I make $1,500. That's your price point. The extra $500 is the finder's fee. And here's all you do. You go to every funeral home in town that has cremation service. You make a nice flyer, a nice presentation for them, and you let them know that you offer this service. You let them know you offer this service, and then you just put your business card or your name and information there, and everybody who refers, or every single customer that they refer to you, they're going to make $500 for doing nothing. Now, cremations are in and of themselves all over the board. I've seen them as low as $500. I've seen them as high as $2,500. So if these guys are doing $500 for a cremation or $1,000 for a cremation, they're going to make an extra $500, let's say. Could be as low as $200 you're going to give them as a referral fee, finder's fee, or commission, doesn't matter. But they're going to make an extra $200 to $500 just for referring someone to you for a service that they are going to love and want. So it's a very, very simple thing for you to get an unlimited flow of leads from all the cremation services in town. So I'd highly encourage you to go out there and talk to all the cremation services in town, and you're going to give them a payment for every single one of those leads that comes in, meaning there's virtually no work on your part doing the marketing because they're already cremating people, and now they can offer this as a service. So you become the outsourced contractor for the cremation service to actually provide this service to their customers. It's a win-win-win. Everybody wins, everybody's happy, and everybody makes money. Guys, this is awesome. So, this is awesome. And yeah, okay. So we don't have any other questions about. Thank you so much. That's what I needed. So anyhow, guys, those are the two business models I wanted to share with you guys, that you are just moving the existing business model of real estate and moving it over to another one. In the case of the funeral, or the cremation service and making the video, it's not really the same business model as real estate, but it's the same place getting started with that business model and building the internal infrastructure. You guys hear me talk about infrastructure all the time because businesses are built off of their own infrastructure. You can't start at the top today and start doing, stack inspections for nuclear power plants. You have to start somewhere. You have to start doing real estate photo shoots, doing aerial imagery photo shoots for local businesses who have warehouses and stuff like that. Never forget that Steve Jobs started assembling little wussy little PCs in his garage. Never forget Amazon.com started selling books. That's it. Once the infrastructure was set up for books, they went on to sell everything. And by the way, what a lot of people don't know is that Amazon still is not profitable selling you junk. Even though they're making profit, they're making all their profit from digital services. But they're only making profit from digital services because they spread their net out far and wide enough that they had a customer base large enough and they had a name and a brand large enough that they could offer digital services with high margin, and that's where they actually make all their money. They're not making you money, you know, being the provider for the people who sell you your Mavic. How many different people are selling Mavics on Amazon? Amazon doesn't, when you buy that Mavic for $1,200, Amazon doesn't make $1,200 off that transaction. They might make, you know, they make cents, you know, maybe a few bucks off of every one of those transactions. So here's the point, guys. Build your infrastructure, build that infrastructure and allow it to move you in to these other business models and just start slamming them. I mean, think about this. Think about how many cremations are done a day. Even if you only did 2 to 3 of these a week, even if only you did, you know, 1 a week, and you're dropping $1,500 on each one of these that you did 1 a week, I mean, $1,500 once a week, that is still $6,000 a month as an additional service added to everything that you're already doing. So we want to encourage you to go out there and make that happen, you guys. We think it's awesome. And hey, that's what it's all about, being a part of the Sky Network. Us bringing to you guys more ideas, more business models, more ways to make money. Because remember, stuff isn't worth money. Ideas are worth money. And this is the value of being a part of a network like the Sky Network, is whenever there's ways to make money, new ideas, new models, new systems, new structures, new strategies, new tactics, new techniques, there's you're never going to be able to know them all on your own. And this is the power of the network. And so major thanks and kudos. We need a big virtual round of applause for my man, Adam Novak, the man, down there in Lakeland, FL. That is Florida. And so we need to send big round of applause to him for bringing that information to us. And we've got some more of these business models that we'll be continue to bring out to you guys as they come up. And there's one more that folks are working on that I'll share with you guys here next month, but that'll cover you guys here for this month. You guys, without any further delay, I've been talking now for almost 20 minutes. It's time for you guys to hear from the man, the myth, the legend, the drone boss. Let's give it up for the man. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. What's going on, everybody? Super excited to be here this month, and I love that. And it was great getting to hang out in Tampa with all the volunteers, and Adam Novak, Dave Cowley, Jesse, Greg, James, everybody that was there. It was just phenomenal. Eddie, you guys, it's so great when we get to do these DCLs, and I hear lots of feedback from you guys, the instructors that volunteer, about how powerful it is, because you get new stuff. They're like, did you talk about that before? Did you talk about that before? And that's why I always mention, and I encourage that you guys always try and come back to at least one DCL, one drone command each year, if not 2, because you're at a different stage in your business. You know, when you first started at Drone Command, the first thing you're thinking about is, what should I name my business and what drone should I get, right? And then when you're breaking your first, $10,000, you have different questions. And when you break your first, $100,000, you have different questions. So it's neat to see, and you hear different things. You know, when you're at those different levels of evolution in your business and your psyche and your infrastructure, different things land, and things make different sense. Plus the networking and stuff, which is amazing. So I love it. I love that. I love the ideas that are flowing all around, and I'm super excited for all the stuff that's coming your way, guys. In fact, we just got an email today from Scott and Erica Jesse. And you guys have this amazing opportunity, which I'm sure some other people are going to be taking off with. And again, this is another one of those things that I've never heard of before. And what they're doing is they're going to be working with a homeowners association and actually mapping the entire HOA to look for and to help them find HOA violations. So now they'll have this, basically it's like the inspection model, the business plan, but now they have this, this system or pattern that they're going to be able to go through, and they'll be able to see every month exactly, where there are violations, where there aren't, what's going on. So I'm really excited to see how this marketplace develops. So I'm, pumped and excited. And if you guys want to adopt that idea too, go for it. Because the cool thing is you can do this with a Phantom or a Mavic or pretty much anything. So there's lots of opportunity for you guys. So I know we're kind of halfway into it, but I want to just do a quick overview of what we're going to be covering for the rest of this. So it is our November 2018 webcast, and we're going to be looking at some of the massive action takers of SEN members. We're going to talk about a drone tip of the month that I think will really help you guys get the most out of the technology that's there and really up-level some of your stuff. We're also going to talk about some of the drone industry news. There's so much going on, but some of the important pivotal stuff, and then also the new technology that's coming out and available and what that means for us in the future. And then we'll feature our superstar of the month, which is going to be phenomenal. So I'm really, really stoked. So let's just dive into it. So with our massive action takers, let's hear it for all of our massive action takers. So first off here, we've got Greg White. And Greg White, Greg, I love you, brother. I love hanging out with you. And this is basically what Greg said at BizCon. We just finished BizCon a few weeks ago, had an amazing time, and there were some massive breakthroughs out there. And one of the great things about this is it talks about the action. So Greg sent this in. He said, SEN, you're amazing. I can't begin to explain how awesome BizCon 2018 was. I've been a part of corporate America for 26 years, and I can tell you the level of training I received in Tahoe was better than what I've seen in $500 million companies. My wife and I have met so many successful people, and I know that we have made friendships for a lifetime. I'm amazed how many people are making so much money doing what they love. Thank you, Sky Network, for a perfect event, Greg and Misty. So, Greg, it was great getting to hang out with you for the event, and also at this last Drone Command, and meeting Misty and getting to hang out with her. It was really awesome. And the cool thing about that is that it basically just set the wheels in motion for some massive action on a higher level, because as you guys get going, you get to different levels up the ladder, and there are different resources, different questions, different needs. That's what we're there. We're there to support you through the whole process, as you guys know. Now, Webb didn't get to make it to BizCon, unfortunately. He was too busy. So rock on, brother, for being so busy there. But Webb had this that he shared with us. He said, I discovered a great in for builders. This is building material supply companies. He said he met a district manager, and he wants 15 to 20 videos for his builder and contractor company clients. He's going to raise the money for the funds for the deals, and it's going to be a week-long project for Webb. Woohoo! Webb says, congratulations, man. That's awesome. And again, it's just thinking out of the box and thinking, how can you cross-pollinate some of these amazing opportunities that you guys have? Now, here's one from Vern. This is, and I love this because you guys went out and created kind of a little mastermind group for you guys. So what Vern shared, he said, I want to thank Michael Henderson, David Barry, Robert Lundry, Jamie, and Landon Vaughn for coming to the workshop at Saltgrass Steakhouse. That sounds more like lunch or dinner to me, but whatever you guys want to call it for tax reasons, I got it. Where we all learn something from each other. And he goes on to talk about how amazing that was. So I love it. SEN masterminding at its best. And that's what it's all about. Getting around successful people to just keep bringing yourself up. And that's what we've created here in the network. Now, next up, we've got David Putnam. And David, I love this. David was at BizCon. He says, I woke up this morning to start doing the do. I committed to making 6 contacts a day, like Eric Lofholm said at BizCon. I looked up 6 open houses in my area, and I headed out. At the first open house, I met with a husband and wife team. I was telling them what I would do and what they could expect from me. I mentioned that I'd give them a house prep sheet so that the house was ready when I got there. This really got their attention, he said. They asked if they could see it, and I did better than that. I gave them one. Then they asked if they would mind if they put it on their website, or I'm sorry, if they put it on their office site, I guess their website, for others to see. He said, sure, of course. Now, I love it because now David said, my logo and my business name were just added to a list seen by 1,500 real estate agents relating to real estate photography. Hot damn, he says. He also went to several other open houses and had lots of home runs. He called an agent from a sign, asked if he could send her some info, and she said that it would be nice. I felt that she was just being nice by saying that, but I sent the info anyway, and 3 minutes later, I got a phone call saying, I have a property that would really benefit from one of your mini documentary videos. Awesome. How amazing is that? going out there, taking massive action. Way to go, David. I love hearing that. And then we've got Tom Goldtrap here. So Tom was out doing the do, right? He sent out 100 inquiries for real estate. He did 1 free photo shoot, and 3 additional people said they're interested, and he got clients from it. He sent out an inquiry to the Florida National Safety Council, received a response back that Florida is looking, they're looking at it and seeing if they can implement something in their drone safety program, and if that's something they want to pursue. So that's going to probably lead to some amazing new opportunities, which is super cool. It's awesome to hear that, Tom. He also secured a flight training site, and he started marketing for a December 12th class in Tampa. I guess, Tom, you're coming to flight training next week or next weekend, and he plans on having at least 4+ paid attendees at his event or at his first training, which is awesome. Way to go, brother. I love it. And then Pete Wilm here. This is a phenomenal project. He said, I just finished a 6-month contract with Indigo Ag, successfully flew over 300 missions without incident, mapping crops in Indiana. He flew the Matrice 600 with a slant range, multispectral payload. Good times. Absolutely. And I'm sure that's just the drop in the bucket of what's going to be coming, which is really exciting. So awesome job, brother. And then next up here, we've got Adam. And this is what we're talking, Adam Novak, who shared that great idea about with the ashes. And that's phenomenal. He did a post on Facebook. He said, Eric Lofholm is a liar. At BizCon, Eric told us that if we would reach out to 5 prospects a day, it would take 2 minutes, which would equal 10 minutes total of an investment each day. Well, every time I reached out to somebody, it turned into a great conversation, exchange, and long story short, led into leads and additional work. In fact, so much more additional work. Damn you, Eric Lofholm, Adam says. I love it. Way to keep the ball rolling and get stuff going out there. So guys, we'd love to feature you. I've got hundreds of other stories I could talk about, but in the sake of time, we just want to feature a few. I'd love to feature you next month, so let us know what you're up to, what wins you have gotten, what challenges you pushed through, and tell us your massive action story. What's really moved you, or moved the needle for you. Email us pics and links with your victories and what's going on. We'd love to see what's going on in your world. All right. Now, next up, I want to take a second and just congratulate our newest 107 FAA licensed pilots. So these are our newest drone operators that are now officially commercially licensed to operate in the national airspace. So look at this great picture of Gloria here, looking great with a beautiful sunny day behind you. It's awesome. So we've got Gloria, Vern, Julie, Lisa, Edwin, John, Sean, and Bethany. So congratulations, guys. Look forward to seeing some amazing stories from how you're taking that license and actually converting it into dollars. All right. Okay, you guys ready for our tip of the month? Drum roll, please. Oh. So our tip of a month, what we're going to be talking about this month is the use of this new hyperlapse modes that are available in some of the newer drones that are coming out. This gives stunning aerial video. And basically, this is using a combination of intelligent flight modes with the quick shot modes and time lapse. So you can just get jaw-dropping little video clips that you can work in there. In fact, Greg White did a promo video for a business in Dallas. Had an amazing hyperlapse in there, which just stole the whole video. I mean, it was the highlight of the video, focal point. Really, really cool. So I can't encourage you guys enough to implement this. Now, the way you work it, or the way you do it, is you just you open up your intelligent flight modes, and you're going to select time lapse. And once you select time lapse there, then you're going to go in and select the type of time lapse you want, or hyperlapse that you would like to complete. And then you're going to select the interval and select go to start your hyperlapse. Now you have 4 different ones that you can complete, right? You have 4 different modes. So you have a free mode, you have a circle mode, you have a course lock mode, and you have a waypoint mode. So I'm going to explain these really quick and how they work and what's the best way to use them. So free mode, this is where you have control of the attitude of the drone and the tilt of the camera. So this is going to be, if there's something that you just want to grab or you want to get a certain shot of and control where it is. So I love being able to do that because I like having that artistic creative control. Now, circle mode, what circle does is it just automatically moves you around a particular object, producing a hyperlapse at the same time. So this is kind of like point of interest mode, or like circle mode in your quick shots if you're using those. And this will just fly around. If you have an object here, it's going to fly around that object and make a hyperlapse of it, which is really, really cool. Now, the third mode here is called course lock mode, and course lock allows you to lock onto any subject while you're moving along a preset line, and it'll automatically panning the camera to fix on that selected target. So in other words, if this were the drone here and the camera were my object, the drone would be coming around and it would keep the drone focused at that object as it was making the time lapse. So, or the hyperlapse, which is really, really cool. So that gives some amazing effects. And this is great if you're featuring a building, a restaurant, a construction site, a house, anything that you're featuring, one thing in particular that you're doing for a client. And then the next one here is waypoint mode. Excuse me. Now, waypoint mode, this is awesome because you can set your waypoints, and you can actually make up to 5 waypoints to create a hyperlapse. So what's brilliant about this is you can take that same, you set your waypoints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever you want them to be. And the cool thing about this is you can go back and have it fly those waypoints again. So you can do a a dawn to sunrise shot, or an evening sunset to dusk shot. So you can have this really amazing transition of it fading in as it flies along. And it's breathtaking what it creates. So again, I really encourage you guys to play with these, take advantage of them, and get good at using them and implementing them into your footage, because it will blow your clients' minds away. I mean, it's just incredible. Now, these new modes are only available in the new Mavic 2s, Mavic Enterprises, and in the future drones that are coming. But again, it's just cool technology. If you guys have those, I know tons of you do, then use it. You've got the tool, use it. It's pretty amazing. All right. Now, the drone news. Let's talk about breaking news. Dun, 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 dun. So, again, there's tons of drone news out there, but the stuff that I think is probably the biggest news for you guys now, if you're not aware of it, is the Lance system is now officially out of beta and is nationwide. So here's a map of everywhere that Lance is. So it's in the continental United States and in Hawaii, which is pretty cool. So if you guys aren't familiar or you're not using Lance now, I would definitely recommend you do. So all 6 waves are complete in the Lance system now. So this was, they had it in beta stages as they were rolling it out. And they've got a lot more flexibility and a lot more, well, let's just say it's working now, which is pretty cool. So this has, you can access stuff on the Lance system with from maps to TFRs to NOTAMs. You get instant approval if you need to fly in restricted airspace. And there are 14 service suppliers now. So companies like AirMap, which is the one that it's probably the easiest one to use and the easiest one to navigate around. So that's the one I would suggest using for doing your Lance stuff, getting your approvals. What I'm really excited about is DJI has recently been named an approved service supplier. So I think one of the cool things about that is that they're going to be able to come out and hopefully in the future have integrated things that are going to be moving into the new apps. So we'll see the new DJI Pilot app. We'll see it in a new DJI Go app, Go 4 and stuff like that. So I think we're going to see more of an integrated approval system with the DJI stuff in the next coming months and years. So I'm really excited about that. So again, this is huge news, and the rate that they've done and they've rolled this out or the pace has been amazing. So again, I'd like you guys to take advantage of that and use that if you're not. And again, we did several months ago, we did a step-by-step tutorial on the Lance system and specifically using AirMap. So you guys can go back and use that. And in fact, I was just talking to the CEO at AirMap, and they're going to do or make available to us a webinar where they basically cover everything A to Z on using it. So we're going to get that for you guys and get that in a portal for you. All right. So pretty cool. All right. Now let's talk about featured technology. So again, this is just, there's so much stuff coming out there. I'd like to be able to feature other stuff than DJI, but DJI is just still, they're just at the top of the food chain right now, and they keep coming out with more stuff. So like I've told you guys before, I'm not a DJI fanboy. I'm a best tool for the job fanboy. And it just so happens DJI just makes stuff that's so much better than everyone else right now. So that's going to change in time, but for now, we're going to keep bringing you the best tools for the job. So this first one I want to show you guys is the Phantom 4 Pro RTK. Now, this is a great little machine. I'm really excited about it because what it does is it makes it more affordable and actually more portable and safer to get survey grade data than ever before seen before in the drone space. It's just absolutely incredible. I mean, DJI's price for the Phantom 4 Pro RTK with one ground station is $4,000. For you guys that are network members, you guys get it for, I think our price is around $29.99. So pretty awesome pricing on that you could get RTK technology for $3,000. It's just incredible. So it opens up a lot more doors, a lot more opportunity. Now, if you guys haven't done anything RTK and mapping, it's not super simple. You're going to have to work at it, and there's a lot of components to it. But you know, bottom line, you can do it, and you can do it at a price point that we've never seen before. So, you know, you guys that have your 210s and your 600s with your RTK stuff, and you wanted to get a backup, but you couldn't really justify an extra 10 or 20 or 30 grand for it. Now it's super cost effective to be able to do it. Very portable too. So that's one thing that's huge. The next thing that I'm sure you've heard about is the Mavic Enterprise. So I want to talk to you guys about this and give you just a few features about the Mavic Enterprise. So the Mavic Enterprise, it's got some neat new features over the Mavic Zoom, which is what it basically, at its heart, that's kind of the, I guess, the chassis is the Mavic Zoom, but it's got quite a few upgrades. So number one, it's got special software, hardware, and inside it, and special batteries that are self-heating batteries and able to fly in sub-zero temperature flights, which is awesome. It also comes with a 24 gigabytes of internal storage. So instead of the 8 gigs that comes in the regular Mavic 2s, the Mavic 2 Enterprise is 24 gigs. Now, the other thing that this thing has is they've got a totally newly developed, from the ground up, app, you know, that you're going to fly. So instead of using the DJI Go 4 app, you're going to use the DJI Pilot. And this app was built specifically for enterprise users. And it's got some really neat features. The biggest thing that I love about this thing is the Mavic Enterprise has an integrated ADS-B receiver built in. So that, coupled with DJI AirSense, this gives you real-time alerts of nearby manned aircraft. Like if you're looking at that screenshot there, it shows 3 aircraft that are there. One is, you know, way far away and way high. It's not an issue on the right side, and it's in blue. The one on the left is yellow. It's a little bit lower, but still pretty far away. Just to let you know, it's, you know, something to be cognizant of. And then there's one in red right in the middle of the screen that is closer, and you just need to be aware of it. So this is amazing technology we're going to have where we can be able to identify and know exactly where all manned aircraft are that are flying around us. Really just up-leveling the level of safety and what we're going to have and see and be able to operate. So it's really cool. And I'm super excited about it because we're seeing it now. You know, we first saw it in the 210, the Matrice 210, and now, or the 200 series and 210, and now we're seeing it in a Mavic Enterprise. So this means rolling forward in the future, we're going to start seeing this everywhere. And then I imagine the next step is we're going to, all of our drones are going to start to be equipped with ADS-B transmitters too. So we'll be able, so everybody's going to know where everybody is the way it should be, right? It'll just make things so much safer. Now, the other cool thing is the Enterprise, it's got a USB port on the top, a little micro, I think it's micro B USB port that has the ability to plug in all kinds of different accessories. Now, right now there are 3 separate accessories, and there are, so number one, we've got Spotlight, which is literally, it's just that. It's a big spotlight that it'll light up the ground up to 100 feet away and super bright. and you can turn that on and off by remote right on your app, and you can adjust the brightness and intensity right there on your app in real time, which is really cool. Now, second is a strobe light. The strobe light it just snaps into the port on top and locks in, and that can be seen for 3.1 miles. So that can be seen, plenty far away for you to be compliant for night flying and stuff like that. And then this one I think is really cool. It comes with a loudspeaker. This is the third one over. And what the loudspeaker allows you to do is there's an instant broadcast mode where you can basically create a recording or create an instant broadcast. Now, it's not quite instant. It takes about anywhere from 3 to 15 seconds to upload, but it's still, in relation to what it can do, that's pretty instant. And you can also pre-record 10 different recordings that are on there. So you could have 10 preset little recordings that you could just access at a touch of a button and have those play over the loudspeaker. Now, this thing is super loud. It's 100 decibels at 1 meter. So it ought to be pretty amazing. And again, I'm just stoked to see what's coming out with this technology, because these are just the first 3 that we have, and there'll be all kinds of other things that we will be able to put on there. I'm really excited to see what the future holds for that. Now, some of the other features this has is it's got some really enhanced cybersecurity. So it's password protected data, because that's one of the challenges. And for you guys that have worked in some more highly sensitive areas, working with oil and gas, or working with big data farms and stuff like that, or inspection rooms and server rooms, they're really concerned with the lack of cybersecurity around this. And DJI again has answered the call with coming up with this really advanced encrypted data. And so every time you go to fly, you'll have to log in. It's a little more cumbersome for us, but it's going to make things that much safer and secure across the board, which is going to also make it a lot easier to enter into a lot of these bigger corporate accounts and clients and stuff, which is really cool. Now, the other thing that's great is it's got GPS time stamping with the time, date, and a GPS coordinates. So everything that you're going to be doing is going to be logged there. So it makes it really easy to track and organize and sort and to be able to go through the data. Now, the other thing that's cool with this is it also is compatible with the DJI Flight Hub, which as you guys grow your enterprises, right, and you build your drone empires and your staff gets up where you're starting to manage 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, 20, 50, 100 pilots, the DJI Flight Hub is going to be an integral part of that for being able to manage equipment and pilots and jobs and missions and all that stuff. So it's really cool that they're forward thinking to that and have all that stuff there. So that's it's pretty awesome. And so that's the Mavic Enterprise, just so you guys, that's kind of a snapshot of what it is and what it does. And basically, like I said, it's the Zoom platform with some upgrades, kind of on steroids. Now, the cost for it, it's about $2,000 is what DJI sells it for. I think our cost is around like $1,700, $1,699, $1,700 for network members. So you guys, again, you own your own business, and you get your wholesale price on this stuff, as you should. All right. Now, next up, which I'm excited about, DJI just released this new professional flight simulator, and this is really cool. It's a powerful system, and basically what this flight simulator does is, it allows you to do literally almost everything that you can do with the controller, that you would normally do with the controller. And you can do, you can adjust the wind, you can adjust you can even do ground turbulence. You can set particular missions. You have your 3 flight modes. You have position hold. You have ADI mode. You have, sport mode. So you can play around, see how the sensors work, really get trained up well. And the great thing about this is this will be a great tool for your new pilots when they come on board to be able to use and take advantage of this. Now, the downside with it, it only works with PC or Windows, guys. So it's a PC system only. But you use your regular controller. So let me grab a controller over here. So if you have your little, you've got one of your controllers, you've got an Inspire controller or a Phantom controller or anything, you can just plug it right in as long as you have the ports. Go right into your laptop or desktop, and you'll be able to run this system. And it's pretty cool. Now, they have 3 levels of this software. And we've got the trial version available for you. It's already in the portal, so you guys can download it and set it up. It's in the membership portal under the members Dropbox link there, and it's listed as Flight Simulator. So you guys can go down and look for that, and the file is in there already. So you guys can get out there and use it. And then soon they're going to have, we're waiting for pricing on the more advanced options, because you'll be able to actually do specific missions and train people for specific missions. And they're even going to have another tier of advanced customizable missions. So like if we're doing, when we get into the cell phone inspections or cell tower inspections or wind farm inspections or whatever it is, we can create the exact standardization and flight parameters we need around that. And then we can go ahead and we can implement all that stuff where you're actually going to be training the exact flights that you're going to need with that, which is going to be pretty awesome. So again, this is just DJI up-leveling it and making it even better for what you guys need. So super stoked for that. And again, wanted to be kind of the first one to make it available for you guys, so you guys have that right now. All right. Okay. So that's it for technology. There's a lot more stuff, but those are kind of some of the big things I want you guys to be aware of if you weren't already. Now, next up, I want to feature our superstar of the month. So big drum roll, please. Hands, 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 everybody clapping, lots of energy, because this is one superstar stud. So this is Jesse Miller with Miller's Aerial Drones right out of Florida there. So Jesse is in St. Petersburg, which is right up the road. I actually used to live in Reddington Beach there. Is that right? North Reddington, somewhere right around there. But it's pretty cool to see what you're doing. Now, Jesse, we had the great pleasure and privilege. He was at BizCon, and so we got to spend some time with him out at BizCon. And then Jesse was just a great guy, proven once again that hard work and consistency pays off in our industry. Now, let me give you a little background on Jesse, starting out with everything. So before attending Drone Command Live, Jesse worked as a pipe fitter. He was working in construction, grueling physical work, as you guys know. He started playing with his son's 3D robotics solo just for fun, and he used it to videotape some of his son's football games and baseball games. His mom loved the videos, so when she saw an ad for Drone Command Live, she signed him up because she knew that his work was literally killing him. Way to go, Mom. And I got to meet Jesse's wife and mom this past weekend. It was really an honor. Super amazing family. Great hearts, just good people. Now, when he attended Drone Command Live and he saw the opportunity for Sky Network, he didn't sign up for it right away. He saw the value, but he actually left Drone Command slightly discouraged because he didn't have the money to join at the time. But he went home, did a little research, managed to get his hands on the funds, and a few weeks later, he joined our family, and he immediately put the tools to work, which I love, taking massive action like we talk about all the time. Now, he started working his pipe fitting job Monday through Thursday and pounding the pavement, building his drone business Friday through Sunday, with his eyes initially on real estate. And he hit every open house he could find on the weekends, as well as stopping into real estate offices, conventions. And he didn't get a whole lot of interest initially. In fact, it was about 4 months into it. And then Jesse says, all of a sudden, the floodgates opened up, right? And he had more business than he could literally handle. And remember, we've talked about that rhizome layer, planting those seeds and getting every contact you have, every conversation at Starbucks you have, you're planting the seeds, and those seeds will grow and they will come back to you. They just take time. You just need to be patient. And in this case, Jesse he kept working, and it paid off in drones. Drones, I like that. Now, he still works with 42 agents on a regular basis, but really the real estate's not the focus of his business. So during the slow time with real estate, he decided he wanted to take his drone to work, and he offered to do a few fuel cell inspection photos for free for the place he was working for. He kept taking the drone every day, kept offering it, and eventually they said yes. And then they started asking if he had his drone with him, and eventually they offered to pay him for just the raw footage. One day he offered to do thermal imaging for him, having no idea what or how to do thermal imagery. They said sure. So he did some more research. He strapped on a thermal camera onto his Inspire, and he went and just blew their minds. And this is where things really took off. Now get this, guys. Jesse conducts the fuel tank inspections for 40 different facilities. He's traveled as far away as Texas, and he works and serves facilities all the way up in the Carolinas down to Key West. By the way, he's now upgraded and uses the Zemuse FLIR X2 camera on an S1000 that's equipped with the A3 flight system on it. It's an awesome machine. Now, we had hoped to share some of the images or video with you guys, but due to the nature of the work that Jesse does, Homeland Security restrictions and stuff, we're unable to do that. But it's still a super dope gig, right? I mean, pretty awesome. Now, we were really honored because Jesse took some time away from his business, his family, to come support us at Drone Command Live this past weekend in Tampa. It was awesome having him there, and I was excited to see him and to share what he'd been doing during the event. The cool thing was during the event, he had planted some seeds and he'd be working on this. And during the event this past weekend, he landed a massive contract with Florida Power and Light to inspect their solar panels for the entire state of Florida. This is a huge win. Now, this is a result of hard work, countless phone calls, lunch meetings, follow-ups. It didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. And the cool thing is this is a massive deal. He's going to be leaning on fellow network members to help fulfill it. So to recap, Jesse's first paid gig was $150. The contract he just signed, he's only a year and a half into his business, was just over $500,000, $520,000. And that doesn't even include all of his fuel tank inspection work, real estate clients, and all the other work that Jesse's doing. Jesse, I'm so happy for you, man. I couldn't be more proud of you. And really, for more of a humble and deserving guy, you know, you really, really deserve it. You did the do. You put in all the work and took the massive action, and it's paying off. And it's going to continue to pay off. I'm really, really stoked. Now, Jesse says Sky Eye has been a blessing to he and his family. And what he loves most about his life now is that he has the money in the bank and doesn't have to worry about the things that he used to. He says, thanks to Sky Eye, his body doesn't hurt every day. And he was able to buy both of his sons and daughters cars for their 16th birthday, participate in flight training last March, and then attended BizCon in Tahoe this year. He's looking forward to training his own pilot soon. He loves his work, the technology, but is looking forward to sitting back someday and letting his own squad of pilots do all the work, which will totally happen. Jesse, right now, brother, you're building the infrastructure that's going to support that. That's that rhizome layer we keep talking about. Very, very powerful. Now, he's got some advice for new members, and this is right from the mouth of Jesse. He says, don't get discouraged. There's a lot to do at the beginning. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't try and do it all on your own. Ask for help. That's what the network's here for. I wish I had asked more questions early on. Ask, lean on us and the Sky Eye team. You've got this. So away you go, Jesse. Awesome, brother. We're so proud of you to acknowledge all that you've accomplished and all that you're going to do, man. That's phenomenal. In fact, pull that picture up. I'm sure you guys probably saw some of these as I was talking, but check out this rig that Jesse's built up to. He's got literally an entire mobile setup. We got to go in and kind of tour around it. We had all myself and the flight instructors and stuff were going in there, and he's got this thing set up. Generators and power. He's got a full security alarm with cameras everywhere. He's got all his equipment and a big monitor in there. I mean, basically anything and everything you could think of that you would need to be out in the middle of nowhere and run your drone business. It's a pretty dope setup. Now, again, you don't need that. And I'm talking to you, Greg, because Greg said he saw it. He's like, I don't need one, but I got to get one. Wait till you need it. All right. So again, I'm super proud of you and all the stuff you guys are doing. And Jesse, you're well on your way to that 7-figure mark, and looking forward to it. Hopefully you'll hit that number this next year. So keep in touch and let us know what's going on. All right, guys. So that is our superstar of the month. Give Jesse a big virtual round of applause. Big, giant high fives. It's just awesome. Awesome to see that stuff happening. And literally how much can change in a year and a half. Absolutely powerful. All right. So, hey, guys, let's bring Diego back up here and we'll dive into some Q&A because I can't see what you guys are seeing. So I can't see all the questions. So I'm going to have Diego read some of those off to me, and if there's anything that comes up there.
So
all right.
welcome back. Thank you for welcoming me back. Awesome. Just want to give a big shout out to Jesse again. You rock, brother. It was awesome seeing you there over the weekend at Drone Command Live. As a reminder for all you guys, everybody, all of our flight instructors, all of our volunteer staff who comes to Drone Command Live, they're you guys. They're people who, for those of you guys who just joined us over the weekend at Tampa, you guys have opportunity in the future to be volunteers as well. And remember, you guys also all have the opportunity to be the next Jesse, to be the next superstar of the month. Every single month we're featuring somebody, and it's so awesome to see what you guys are doing out there, crushing it in the real world. So we've got the Q&A time. Let's go ahead. I've got my slick AirPods in here. Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? And our first question is from a man, Gary. He says, what is the process and current anticipated wait time for ordering and receiving delivery on a Mavic 2 or Phantom 4 through the Sky program? So the process, Gary, is just to go into the membership portal and click on the button where it says there under the tab for ordering the drone. As far as for ordering them wholesale, as far as to the wait time, Damon, do you know what the wait time currently is for Mavic 2s? Are they in stock? Can we get them right now, or are they all back ordered?
Well, they've been, it's hit and miss. So they've been in stock and out of stock and in stock and out of stock. So as of last week, they were in stock. But I don't know. I can't speak to it for this week, but I imagine it's not that long of a wait. It's nothing like what we went through with the original Mavics when they came out.
Right.
So you shouldn't have to wait more than a couple weeks at the most. But like I said, we've got 4 different distributors that we're working with. So if one distributor doesn't have it, then we'll get them from another one, and we'll make sure that you get it as quickly as possible.
So get that ordered, brother. I can tell you this: once you start shooting with that Mavic 2, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. Dennis says he is registered for flight instructor training next weekend. Awesome, bro. He's pumped about it. He says, Damon, what would you suggest? Number 1, do we read and study, or 2, fly and practice before the course? So which one should he emphasize more, reading and studying or flying and practicing?
Fly, 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 fly. I'm gonna give you guys everything that you need and certify you as certified flight instructors. And the bulk of this is around flying. So make sure you get there's some requirements. You got to have your 30 hours in. You got to have your 107. So there really wouldn't be much to read about unless you don't have your 107. Get it, study that, and get it done. But fly, 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 and get your hours in.
Awesome. Next question here is, this is a ground camera question from Dennis. He says, okay, well, everyone's going to have their opinions on this, Dennis. I'll throw mine in here, but we'll get to the meat of the matter. He says, what's the real difference between a 70D and a D5? So this is a Canon versus Nikon question. So we're never going to get to the answer to that. He says, what's the difference between those two for multi-million-dollar home listings? The true answer to that question is it's your preference. It doesn't matter if you're doing a multi-million-dollar home listing or just a regular home listing for $250,000. The camera is really the least important part. The lens is going to be even more important than the camera. And then, of course, you setting it up right and getting a good HDR shot. Go back to that question really quick. His second question was, what are the models and specs of the correct lenses for 70D and D5 cameras for real estate photography? So I don't know if you know that off the top of your head, Damon, but I mean, basically he just wants to know so he can get wide angle. Because the bottom line here, Dennis, is you need wide angle shots for each of those cameras. So both of those, I know for a fact the 70D is a cropped frame camera. I'm pretty sure the D5 is as well. Do you know that off the top of your head, Damon, what that would be, what the range he would need for his lenses?
I don't know Nikon at all. So, but bottom line, you want to be, if you're 35 millimeter focal point, you want to be about 16 millimeters. So the Canon 70D is a 1.6 crop sensor camera. So if you get that camera, you're going to want a 10 millimeter lens, because by the time you figure the crop factor, that's going to be the equivalent of a 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter final focal point. If you're using a full frame camera, something like Canon, like a 5D Mark IV, then that's a full frame camera. So you would want a 16 millimeter lens for that. That would be the focal length that you want. And the reason for that, it's a wide angle lens, but it doesn't generate or produce any fisheye. And that's basically as close to what the human eye sees for taking the pictures. If you go wider than that, you go down to a 15, 14, 12 millimeter lens. then it's too wide. It makes the room look bigger than it is in real life. And if you go higher than that, then it actually makes the room look smaller than it does in real life. So that's the number you want to be at. So if it's a 1.6 crop factor, which most crop sensor cameras are, then you're going to be around the 10 millimeter lens. If it's a full frame camera, you're going to be at a 16 millimeter lens.
Next question here is from email. He says so we don't know who it's from, I guess. It came from some random emailed person. He said, I ordered a
Wouldn't that be dope, though, if somebody really
had
had a name named Email?
Yeah, I know,
That
right?
would be cool.
It's like Kim.com, that dude from New Zealand. That guy's pretty dope. I like him. About 6 months after I passed the test, he says, the new license has an expiration date 2 years from the time I ordered the replacement. Do I need to renew 2 years from when I passed, or just when the license says it expires? Just when the license says it expires, right?
Yeah, so if you're talking about the 107, whenever you took it is typically whenever they issue it. So like say you took it in September or even August, they might not have issued it until October. Whatever month it was issued, then you have 2 years to renew it to the end of that month. So if it was issued to you in October, then you have till the end of October to get it renewed 2 years from now.
Cool. Okay, next question. Chris Kornberg says, I have a possible client that needs me to shoot some video of auto dealerships. His company does the lighting for the dealerships. They will be late twilight shoots. Do I need a night waiver to do this?
It depends. You have 30 minutes of dusk, so that's probably where you're going to do your twilight shot, so you're not going to need the waiver for that. If you're going to be shooting at night, where it's black and dark, then you will need a night waiver to do that. So the other option that you can do, if you're, depending on how much you need to shoot there, you can tether your drone as well. So if your drone is tethered, meaning you have a rope or string on your drone that is attached to the ground, now you're not flying. So you're not bound by the FAA rules. So you're actually on the ground. So you can, if you need to go up 65 feet and you just need to basically move 30 or 40 feet kind of in the front, or just do a fly up in front of it or something, then you can tether it. That's an option as well.
I'll rock on. Next question here from Jim Freeman. He says, can you give a quick overview for next week's flight instructor training in Houston?
Sure. So quick overview is there are basically 4 big benefits to come into flight instructor training. So number 1 is you guys will be certified flight instructors, which gives you a level of prestige, a level of accomplishment, and it basically is a positioning for you and your company that puts you above and beyond everybody else. You guys will also get your websites updated with a whole additional page based around flight training, flight instructing, and you guys will be certified instructors in the Sky Network, which is a pretty big deal. It's like Patty being a master diver with Patty. So that's going to be a big advantage. The second thing is that it can generate some extra revenue. A lot of you guys get hit up all the time. People saying, hey, can you teach me to fly? Can you teach me to fly? So rather than you going off and teaching them one off at a time to do that, you can say, yeah, actually, I do a training every month, the 3rd Saturday of the month, and you can sign up for it, and here's the link and the fee, and then you just send them there, and they come to your training. And the great thing about it is it's designed where you can train up to 10 people at a time. If you have 10 people at 10, then you get paid. You're basically, your net income or your income for that is $4,000 a day that you're training if you have 10 people at a time. So it's based on however many. I don't recommend training more than 10 at a time unless you get additional instructors, which you can do, but it's really designed to keep the classes small. And then the third benefit of it is you're going to be training all these potential new pilots that you're going to hire. So you get to see how these guys interact. You get to do the crazy eye test, I call it. You can look them in the eye and see how they actually interact as human beings. And also you can see how they interact under stress when they're flying. If they don't know what to do or they get confused, what's their go-to mode? Do they panic? Do they freeze? What do they do? So you'll get to hand pick the cream of the crop for people that when you want to expand your business, then you could offer them jobs flying and to be pilots for you. And then the fourth benefit is that you're going to get basically about 20% of the people that you train are going to be from large companies who send their employees to your training to learn how to fly and learn about the drones and what they're capable of, basically to see if they can incorporate the drones into their business. What we've seen is a lot of these that go through your training, they're going to go back and their boss is going to say, man, do you think we can use the drones in our business? They're going to say, absolutely. And say, great, can you do it? And they're going to be like, well, no, I can't, but my instructor, he's a genius and a master and he can totally do it. And so it'll be a great way for you to get some really big, amazing corporate contracts like what Jesse just got as a way of doing that. Now, as far as the actual, the itinerary that we're going to be going through it's an 8-hour training program with basically classroom time and then flying, classroom, flying, classroom, flying. So what I'm going to do is day one, I'm going to teach you the exact presentation, verbatim, exactly what you're going to teach to your students. So we'll be doing a little role reversal. I'm going to be you and you're going to be your students sitting in the class. Okay. And then day two, we're going to kind of deconstruct everything. I'm going to give you some ninja pro tips for how to present like a pro on stage. I'm going to give you some ninja flying tips. So even if you have somebody that's really well versed at flying, that you're going to be able to challenge them and take them to the next level and really add value to them, regardless of their skill level flying. And then we're going to deconstruct the whole process and how you guys can do it and implement it. And then talk about some of the sales and marketing stuff that you guys are going to do. So that's going to be on day two. So day one is just going to be an exact recap of what you guys are going to do. And then day two is going to be where we'll deconstruct everything. All right. Does that sound good? I can't wait to see you guys next week. It's going to be a good time. And then, of course, afterwards, we'll hang out and grab some grub and talk about world domination.
Next question. Any more questions? Okay, so question comes from Worldwide 320. Says, can you tether, excuse me, can you tether 100 feet or 200 feet if needed? Yeah. You can tether 5 miles away.
Well, yeah, don't tether that high, but don't tether more than 400 feet.
Okay. So Chris, okay, he's just giving them some tips on Nikon, some other guys. Destiny Aerials, he says, for the cremation business opportunity, what mechanism do you attach to the drone for release? Is it offered as an accessory to a higher-end drone like the Matrice 600? No, it's definitely not a pre-existing accessory. It's something that you're going to have custom built. Damon, you've got some experience, a lot of experience doing that. What would you suggest as a resource for where folks should look to create some type of lever attachment that, you know, first of all, it's secure. Wherever they're not going to carry an actual urn, so I'm not going to encourage you guys to have an urn flying in the sky, but you're going to have a box, a case of something of some sort, and then you're going to have a release mechanism. So, Damon, as far as a resource to where people would look for that, what would you suggest?
Well, so there's nothing that's commercially available, guys, for this. What I would do is I would look, search the internet for some candy drop RC planes or RC remote control candy drop mechanisms. The last one I had a buddy of mine who was a pilot, and he passed away, and his mom asked us to do at the airfield to do a flying ceremony and release his ashes. So we did that during an aerobatic show. And basically what we did is we just got the what's that stuff called, like the foam core board, that carbon or that particle board type stuff, not particle board, but you know, like what you make science projects with and stuff like that. So we got that, reinforced that with some Gorilla Tape basically, and we put a plastic bag inside where we had all the ashes and the glitter mixed together in there. And then we just rigged it up on the bottom of the aircraft with a servo extension that ran out, and then put a servo mechanism in it. And so basically the way this was a fixed wing aircraft, so we're flying forward. So one of the big challenges is we wanted to make sure that that the door, you know, the first iteration we had the door basically facing the front with the release back here, so the door would open up here. But the problem was the airflow of flying forward and all the air going across, even when we released the servo, the door wouldn't open. So we had to make it the other direction. So when the door opened, when we released the servo, the wind literally grabs the door and rips it open. Whatever you do, you need to test it prior to going out there and doing it, whatever you build, to go out there and do it. Now, if you guys are using a drone like you know, an S1000, an M600, maybe even an M200, or if you're doing just a portion of the ashes, Not all of them. You could get away with like a Phantom 4 if you're not doing, the whole thing. Because a lot of times what they'll want is the families will want like a small little thing. In fact, I got right over here. I'll show you guys this. So my mom and dad both wanted to be cremated. So here we've got dad, here we've got mom. So we've got little things. Hear them?
Oh man, that's kind of creepy, bro. I can't believe you're doing that like on live TV.
But so we've got mom and dad there, and so that way, my sister's got some ashes, and so whatever. So if they want to keep some of the ashes, you might not have all of them that you're going to go ahead and put out in the ocean or the mountains or wherever it is that they're going to be. So to whatever you're going to test, and you need to build whatever you're going to build based around the payload you're going to carry, and how much you can actually safely carry with that, and make sure you have a little extra power to be able to do it. Now, if you're doing it with something like a Phantom or something that's got a closed-end circuit, you're going to need to get an extra transmitter and an extra receiver to be able to release this, and an extra battery pack. So there's not going to be anything that just plugs into a DJI port and it's going to go. There's not a plug and play solution for it. And you might be able to find, there was a company over in China called Hobby King, and they had a little candy drop that you could put on the bottom of drones. And it was designed just what it sounds like. You fill it full of candy, like a little piñata thing. You fly over a group of kids, and then you drop all the candy out, and they go running out there like little maniacs and go pick up the candy. When we looked at getting that, they were out of it, or they were discontinued. I don't remember what the deal was, and we just ended up building one. But it can be as simple or as elaborate as you want. I would recommend, though, that you do whatever you build, you use a plastic bag and make sure it's secured so that the ashes don't go dripping out or sifting out through all of your corners and stuff. All right. So hopefully that helps.
And we got a question about, and just guys, as a side note, when it comes to stuff like that, when you invent something, kind of the whole concept of inventing something is there's not something prepackaged ready for you to go. All right. So if you want to make money in this marketplace and industry, and we're talking about the cremation services now, you're going to have to go figure it out and make it happen. So it's not complicated by any stretch of the imagination, but you do some Google searching right there and take the resources that Damon just explained and go find that. Probe's got a great question. Hey, good seeing you, my man, Probe. He's got a great question about the Mavic Enterprise. I'll tell you up front here, we've got a lot of questions about the Mavic Enterprise because we don't have one yet, and we haven't even seen anybody who's reviewed them or anything like that. But his question is, the FAA requirements for a night flight is that an aircraft has to have, quote, strobe-capable lighting. He says, if you're flying with the spotlight on, does it have a strobe capability mode also? The answer is we don't know. And as you know,
it does.
It does?
Yeah, so the beacon mode, that beacon light is the other one. That's FAA compliant for night
that's a
night
separate
flying.
Attachment. That's the only thing, though. That's a separate attachment. So that's his question. He goes, if you're flying with the spotlight on, because the spotlight is one attachment, the strobe is a separate attachment, and you can't have two attachments on the same time, at least as far as we know. So it has a cool strobe. It also has a cool spotlight. It also has the cool speaker, which I thought that was the coolest thing until I found out that you only get 10 pre-recorded messages, and we don't know how you pre-record those messages or how you send them over. So we got a lot of questions about the Enterprise.
Yeah, actually you do. It's a live. So basically you record it right on your app, and then it instantly transmits it over. And it also gives you the ability to leave 10, you have 10 recorded messages that you can also save as well. So you can do it's not quite instantaneous live. It's like it has to upload to it. So it takes like 3 to 15 seconds, but it's pretty close.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So the answer to your question, Probe, is at this moment, we don't know, brother, but we do know that there are two separate attachments. So I could tell you this. What you can do, because that spotlight that it has on it is just a DJI official light, but of course you can attach third-party lights to a Mavic, to an existing Mavic. So if you put the strobe that DJI gives you and then you attach a secondary light source, and you got both at the same time. But one of them is going to be, it's going to be third party. It's not going to be DJI official. Okay, Worldwide 320 says, can you add a servo to Phantom 4 Pro? Can you add weight to it? How much? Yeah, you can add a little bit of weight, but not much. Damon was just talking about Again, servo. And Damon, you could add a servo a servo is just a little motor thing. You could add it to anything. You could add one to my head. The point is, you can't add that officially. It's like not a DJI piece of equipment. So you're just attaching things, and you're going to have it a separate controller. Okay, so you got your DJI controller to fly it, and you're going to have a separate controller to attach whatever it is you've attached to it.
Yep, you're going to have so basically what you're going to need to have a separate servo on there, you're going to need a transmitter and a receiver. So a transmitter is going to be what you're going to hold in your hand, a separate one. You're going to have a receiver that's going to receive the signal. You're going to have battery power to take power from that battery to power the receiver and also the servo. And then you'll plug your servo into that receiver, and then you'll hook that servo up to either rig it up to a worm gear, or you'll have it linked up to a little lever or arm that's going to go to your mechanism. And that's what it's going to be. And they don't weigh much.
Just picture it, Damon. I could see this really sweet box with the worm gear, right? And the box has all the ashes underneath, inside the box. And the worm gear opens up like bomb doors, right? So the little worm gear goes like this. The bomb doors open up. There's a plastic bag in there that as it opens up, the plastic bag unfurls the other way. And so, boom, it all just falls out. I mean, that would just be perfect because you could load everything up and in the bag. And you just stick it in there, slide the whole thing on with like 2 little rails, and it's in there solid as could be. And then boom, the little servo hits the worm gear. The worm gear goes, zzz, the bomb doors open up. The bad news is if you invented something like that, like some bad people would want to get a hold of it. Well,
they've had it for a long time, but usually
that's what they're That's what they're using down in Colombia right now to drop on the coca fields. You know, the Colombian government's using drones to combat the cocaine growers right now as we speak. And so they're using that very type of mechanism. I don't know if it's that same design, but same concept. But that's funny. Okay. That's it. Any other questions? Someone wants to know how much...
Let me throw one more thing on there since you guys are talking about the ashes and stuff. One thing you might Google and look is there's a lot of scale drones, war drones that are military, and they make bomb releases that are scale bombs. We usually fill them up with like baking soda or flour. So for contests, you fly over and you have to drop these things, and you get points for where they hit the ground and blow up. But a release mechanism that you might want to incorporate would be a bomb release mechanism, and it's not a real bomb; it's just a little toy scale bomb. But those there are companies like Robart makes them, and I think Align makes some as well. So you guys can Google and check those out. I was just thinking about that when you mentioned it.
And if I was a kid all over again, I'd put those stink bombs in there and fly them over like like the enemy's headquarters and drop all those bad boys. You remember those things? They smelled so bad. Oh my goodness, they smelled terrible. Okay, Dave says, Damon, any comments on the DJI Precision Hawk partnership that was announced recently? Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Any comments on that, bro?
Yeah, I'm going to go into more depth on that on next webcast. But
okay, cool.
We'll talk about that in detail. Yeah.
John Bass. Oh no, that's no question. Okay. I think that's all the questions. We have any other questions? You guys, this is your last chance for any questions. If you have them, type them in here beneath me. Send a text above me don't send it above me, but use the number that's above me, 208, I believe it's 477-1558. Or you can send an email to webcast@powermarketing.net. We're going to do one last quick check on both email and text to see if anything's come in. Go ahead and check that. And then we'll wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. We are right up about that 90-minute mark, which is, we try not to go longer than that. We're usually 60 to 90 minutes on these things. That's where we want to respect your guys' time and give you all the latest and greatest information. So we're excited for all you guys out there. That's any other questions? I'm talking to Mrs. Snerdley over here, and she doesn't have any questions for me. She's the official program observer. Rick said, I've been getting lots of Facebook posts about Mavic Pro clones. I don't know which clones you're talking about, but the ones that Damon and I have seen are such garbage. It's not even worth, I mean, I've got some choice words for it, but trust me, there's nothing out there worth it. And let me just give you guys some words.
They look like it, though. They're like, did you ever see those kit cars? Where
yeah, they look like it, and when you get it, though.
You put it on a Volkswagen Bug chassis, and for like $5,000, you'd have a Lamborghini, but not really.
I've seen those. But also, we bought one, by the way. We bought 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like, here's a Mavic. They're like this big. Like those things are like the size of a Mavic battery. But when they take pictures of it, it looks like the real thing. And because they're Chinese companies, a lot of them use an actual Mavic photograph to advertise their clone. And when you get it in the mail, it's totally different because the Chinese are like that. I mean, what can you say? But guys, you guys are professionals. When you're professional, don't try to cut corners. Use high quality equipment. Use the best equipment there is. Don't try to cut corners and save $100 to get some piece of crap. Don't ever do that. That's just the number one way to be on the very bottom of the barrel is to use crap. You guys are professionals in business, just like you want people who work with you and for you to use the best equipment. You should do the same. Okay, that's it. Okay. Oh, we have one more? Oh, question. Ricky said, does tethering still apply? Excuse me, not does tethering. Does the 107 still apply when you're tethering? If you have a 107, everything applies to you, brother. So don't mess with Uncle Sam because he's going to get you. And pay your taxes, just only as much as you are legally required to pay. The rest of it, put it in your pocket, baby. Yeah, and take me out for a burger. Okay, it looks like that's everything we got. Any final closing words from the drone boss?
No, that's it. I'm just again keep the wins coming in. Keep all the great successes that you guys are doing. Go out there. You guys take care and fly safe. And we'll see you next month.
Next month, guys, we got good news. And not only are we going to cover the Superstar of the Month, Tip of the Month, industry news, and all the other great stuff we always cover, but it is our annual end of the year webcast. So we're going to have just like today, where we shared with you guys some other business models that you guys can use, other ways to make money. We're going to share a few of those with you guys, and we're also going to have some stories about overall excitement that happened in 2018. We'll have the sizzle reel from BizCon. We're also going to make a big announcement for BizCon 2019. So you guys get prepared for that. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be better than the last two, probably combined. So we're excited about what's coming up for BizCon 2019. We'll share that with you. And then we'll also give you a little sneak peek as to what's coming in 2019 with the Sky Network and Drone Command Live. So you do not want to miss the end of year webcast, Sky Network 2018, December 2018 webcast. And I don't even know off the top of my head what date it is, but you guys have it. It's in the membership portal. And we will see you then. So ladies and gentlemen, it was great seeing you. As always, take care. God bless you, and we'll see you next month.